Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. Desmond Tutu. Welcome to Hope Floats. I'm Michelle. My goal today is to tell you who the hell I think I am and why I think I have anything to share. I want to show how to break techniques down to bite size. I know how daunting a task it is to try to use or even think of using a technique that might help us. We often get in our own way. I want to encourage you to find that hope to help you on your road to wellness. The ideas can seem too big, like the size of an elephant, and overwhelm us. And we end up doing nothing, and we're stuck in the darkness. I hope to encourage us to take a little step in the forward movement. Even considering a technique is a step. Listening to this podcast is a forward movement. Thank you for being here. As the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I'm going to add to that and say, even a nibble is a good place to start. This episode is to do just that. Tell you who the hell I think I am and what I have to share. However, today is just a tiny thumbnail of who I am. It will hopefully show you why I'm doing this, and I want to share things that have helped me along my journey and give you some hope and ideas to help you move forward. I'm a layperson. I have no credentials except for my life experiences that will give evidence as to how I qualify for this podcast. So far, I'm still here, moving forward, and that in itself is a success. My idea is that no one gets out of this life without scars, and we need a bit of hope to start to move from the darkness to the light. The reason I share so frankly is to show that I have been in the darkness, and with some hope, self-love, lots of therapy, proper medication, and even an ounce of forward movement, in other words, courage, I have moved along the spectrum from mental illness to mental health. Here is one of my scars. I have bipolar. I used to say I am bipolar. That was the disease talking. Now, with ownership of my healing and knowledge, there is no cure for mental illness, but there is a journey to mental health. I am also fully aware that such a journey is far from easy and sometimes painful. With hope, life can get better. I'm not stating that it's all rainbows and glitter. It certainly isn't. Actually, life is better because I handle it better. Life is still out there doing its thing, but my perspective often helps me get through challenges. A little bit of history. I was first hospitalized about 25 years ago, and I recall walking up to the locked doors, turning to my husband at the time, and I said, I really am crazy. That was just the first of many psych ward visits to come. You don't just go to the psych ward because you're having a bad day. Sometimes you stay for a couple days. Sometimes you stay for 2 weeks. I've done all of that. About 8 years ago, I had a time when I visited the psych ward about 13 times in a relatively short window of time. Like I said, you don't visit the psych ward for having a bad day. I now celebrate anniversaries of my last visit to the psych ward. Each year I sit silently and I am grateful for another year. After that stint of visits, I was placed in an adult day program because I was not safe home alone physically or mentally. After 2 years, I left and began volunteering at my local library. I love being at the library and seeing the people in my community. This was a pivotal point in my journey of hope. Someone believed in me. It was at the adult day program that I was introduced to dot mandalas, one of my favorite mindful activities that I utilize for mental health and joy. They can be both. More about mindfulness, another time. My mother introduced me to the game of Mahjong, and I'm pleased to say that I've become an avid player. I enjoy this community of women that I regularly play with. This activity is more than just a game. It has helped bridge the relationship between me and my mother, for which I'm grateful. More on that later, too. This game takes strategy and problem solving, and my ever-moving mind finds solace there. In order to try and lessen the loneliness that I still felt, have you ever been in a room full of people and still felt alone? I created an adult coloring group in my community. Terry, a friend of mine, provided me with a space and materials to support this mindful activity for myself and for others in my community. I'm pleased to say this group was slow to start, but is now showing solid growth. I have begun the journey of healthy activities. These activities help provide a sense of accomplishment and pride and commitment to show up for these activities. I not only receive intrinsic rewards, the extrinsic rewards, comments, compliments, and the enjoyment of others provide me positive feedback. I share these recent activities because it is such a difference from the life of hiding in the darkness of my mind and feeling so helpless and hopeless. I am joyful that these activities have helped to work in a positive way in my life. I am disabled and due to my bipolar, anxiety, and PTSD, and the commitment of full-time employment would be challenging to be successful at. Here I begin yet another positive activity in my life. Hope floats. My journey of recovery has been filled with loneliness. It was dark and I was lonely for so long. I would try, and sometimes there was no forward movement. It was truly a fight to fight the darkness within us. All scars carry darkness. Sometimes some vibrant wording helps to get the point across. The darkness sucks. When I started to see some progress that life was getting better, I kept on trying even during the tough times when it was extremely hard. The point I'm trying to make here is that sometimes the darkness is incredibly strong. Sometimes I found a little success, sometimes not. Wrought with tears and sweat and frustration, I built upon each tiny success. Even with a grain of sand, for example, a nibble, a sandcastle can be built over time. We will talk about techniques, the good stuff, and visit some of the darkness so we can see how far we are capable of going. I believe we are all capable of what I call forward movement, even if it's little by slow. I'm the mom of 2 grown men that I'm very proud of. I'm a Mimi of 2 and a step-grandma of 3. I am not a therapist. I am simply a human that has experienced the dark and knows how lonely it can be. I hope to share my experience, strength, and hope with others, and I want to extend my hand as there were very few that were extended to me. My wish is that no one with any scars whatsoever would feel alone in the journey of healing. I have a friend who didn't believe in hope. That almost made me want to believe in it more. I tried to impress upon him how hope is a beautiful frame of mind. I hope you can come to believe in hope too. This new adventure with Hope Floats began on a site called Peanut. It was an honest and sincere and full of hope. I started sharing quotes that spoke to me, and my group grew and grew, and they granted me an MVP at Peanut. I was honored by this. It was the momentum of this group that kept it moving forward. I want to thank you for listening to Hope Floats. Please stay tuned for some great topics and shorts and some inspiration and maybe a laugh or two. Please join, subscribe, follow, etc., whatever the platform allows. Come help build a positive, hopeful community at Hope Floats Club on Facebook. You can share or you can just enjoy reading hopeful posts. One more thing I'd like you to consider. Think of a suggestion someone has given you to try. Try it. Or try thinking about it. This is a good place to start with just a nibble. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. Desmond Tutu. With much love and much hope, until next time, hope floats.